Episode 51, All the Everything Podcast. I'm Billy. That's Tim. Happy Halloween, buddy.
Hey, happy Halloween, my friend. How are you today?
I am good. I'm excited about this Halloween extravaganza episode. Yes, sir.
Yes, it's Halloween time. It's creepy outside. It's a little bit spooky when it gets darker here because here in Cincinnati, anyhow, it's definitely cooler outside. At night it's getting down into the 50s. The leaves are starting to fall everywhere. You start hearing little things that you would hear in the summer. You wouldn't think twice about it. But when it's dark and you can't see it or identify it, that's when the fear starts to set in. So you got to be careful out there because, Billy, they always say that horseman's still looking for a what?
A head, right? Yeah.
Yes.
He needs a head.
Thank God I queued that one up right for you. It's like
Ichabod
if
Crane.
you say something, he's looking for a friend or something.
He's looking
Hang it,
for
Billy.
a girlfriend. He's single and ready to mingle.
You ever seen that dude? He looks a little strange. Ichabod Crane from the cartoons with Disney.
Oh yeah.
They make him look so nerdy.
Oh man. Yep.
Anyhow, Halloween is definitely one of my favorite times of year. Besides the holidays. But so today I'm wearing a Michael Myers shirt.
Yep.
Hold it up for the screen. And it's a surprise that Billy doesn't even know about yet. Hold on.
Uh-oh. What we got going on here?
This is new this year for me.
Oh.
My Michael Myers slippers. Look at him. He's got little knives in his hands.
I love it.
Walking around with these bad boys on, and my dogs want to fight me on the regular.
Oh, I bet.
They're like, oh, who's this little guy with a knife?
Yep. You're going to come out one day when you left them out, and then they're going to be in hundreds of pieces. They're like, got them.
They've already carried them around the room and played with them, so. This might be the only Halloween they ever survive, but you never know with Michael Myers, though. Right?
Hey, they're on the podcast, so they're they're forever now.
They're forever. So if you're just listening, please go watch, especially for one of our special listeners, Bethany Peak out there. She really loves the fact that I share Michael Myers every year. It's her favorite character.
It's her favorite. I know it. I've heard stories.
Yeah.
I've heard stories.
But they're kind of funny to look at. Well, normally our first episode ever, Billy, last year when we started was actually on Halloween.
That's right.
That was our kickoff to the whole All the Everything podcast universe. And we had a great time. We did urban legends, if you can remember or not.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun. So normally we would have been doing this on our Halloween on our 1 year anniversary, right? Because that would make the most sense.
Yep. So this is why it's becoming a week beforehand, right?
That's right. Because what are we doing next week, man?
Well, we're gonna have a big celebration next week, right? Just 1 year, 52 episodes in a row, celebration of All the Everything podcast, and I'm super excited to kind of reminisce about this past year because it's been a lot of a labor of love. We both enjoyed this, this whole process and just creating this content or this community or whatever with you all. It's been a special year, and we're going to celebrate that next year. So, the day before Halloween would be a Halloween episode, but we're going to do it a week beforehand. So welcome to the spooky season right now.
Woo! Yeah. Feel the ghost. Right. So speaking of Halloween, Billy, let's talk about a little quick throwback to when we were kids during Halloween.
Ooh. Okay.
Give me some of your favorite costumes you ever did growing up.
Oh, okay. So growing up, my first one that just comes to mind is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like I had of course my favorite was always Raphael. Red. He's the sarcastic attitude one. That was my turtle. And so first grade, I remember having that plastic turtle shell.
Oh, you had the shell going on.
Yeah, it was like a foam kind of like turtle stomach, that went over, that was connected to the shell. And then I had my little green hood and my red bandana over my eyes. And I had my size, because that's what he had. He had the size as his weapon of choice.
So did you feel like I am a Ninja Turtle? Like were you?
I am, yeah, 100%. And so that one, That one was a special one. Another really special one was, I used to take Aikido growing up. That was the kind of karate that I took. My friends all did like Taekwondo and became black belts, but I got to be a yellow belt, one stripe in Aikido.
Woo!
Same kind of martial arts that Steven Seagal did. But
Oh.
yeah, so I had like the traditional karate uniform, gi, is that what they call them, or whatever,
Yeah.
just I had one of those, but I had already quit Aikido, and my mom took it and cut the sleeves off, made them kind of like real shredded there, and then dyed it like a blue for me. And so I
Oh.
was Ryu from Street Fighter one
Oh, I
Halloween,
love that.
which was really cool because it was like a legit costume. So those were like the two big ones that stood out for me. How about you?
Well, we grew up, like I said, I've mentioned a lot of times, we grew up in a family of 7 kids, didn't have a lot of money. So there was a lot of creative costumes throughout the years, like just to cut out the holes in a sheet. Hey, you're a ghost, or put like marker on your face, like, hey, you're a pirate, or you're a hobo, or,
Right?
and any of the things like that. But also there was some, I can't remember the exact characters. It might have been maybe He-Man or something, but back in the
Oh, He-Man.
80s, used to go to the stores for Halloween costumes, and they used to be racks and racks of them, all just hanging on hooks.
Yep.
With like a plastic rubbery
Mask.
type of, not the mask, but this is
Oh.
just the uniform you put on, the costume itself.
Okay.
And then the masks were made of this molded plastic
Mm-hmm.
with slits in the eyes where you could barely see, a slit for the mouth where you could barely breathe, with a tight old rubber band snapped around your back.
Rubber band.
And you'd wear those around. And the jokes have been forever from people who grew up in the 80s and stuff. It's like you couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. It was like the thing would snap off halfway through Halloween.
Oh, 100%.
I know, but you go to the store and there were just hundreds of different characters, from all the cartoons to movies, to books, and so forth and so on. That was a jam back then. But also in the 80s, we had to deal with the crazy scare of razor blades in your candy.
Oh,
do you remember that story?
Oh, I remember. I still check my girl's candy. That's just like ingrained because you had to go through all the candy to make sure there was no razor blades. And of course, we always had the one dentist on the neighborhood that would give out apples.
Read the room.
Come on now. Yeah,
or
we wouldn't give out candy.
Penny.
Gave out apples. But yeah, those little rubber bands, to go back to those little masks, those would never make it throughout the night. But I remember having so many of those. He-Man specifically as well. I loved He-Man. So yeah.
So with the whole thing with the candy, especially in the 80s when that actually was happening, I remember my parents would cut up all of our candy bars and stuff. And we'd make a joke that like the next morning we'd wake up and it'd be like a 3 Muska Snickers, like they just jammed brandy candy bars back together, a Reese's cat, like, wait a minute, these don't even match.
What?
We'd have all these mismatched like Frankenstein type candy bars that we'd eat the next day where they were mixed. But I mean, that was something you had to do back in the day because people are freaky and trying to hurt kids out there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thankfully we'd never found anything. My parents didn't cut up the candy, thankfully. But if there was anything that was kind of slightly opened, that got chunked pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. Something that's open, you're gone. Do you remember the other thing was the big deal is people would hand out popcorn balls?
Oh yeah, I've gotten multiple popcorn balls growing up as well. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, some weren't too bad. Some were just garbage, but some tasted pretty good. But still, every time I'd get one, I was like, popcorn ball, come on, man.
Yep, or Rice Krispie treats. They would make Rice Krispie treats. Yep, that was like homemade ones that they would wrap up as well. My family, my grandparents, in the 80s and early 90s, like the peak time of like Halloween, like of course that's when we trick or treated and had plans and did it big. And there was tons of kids when I was growing up in our neighborhood. My grandparents would always buy the full size candy bars to hand out.
They were rolling deep.
But then like they would always overbuy, and so after Halloween there was always so many full size candy bars, and then of course led to the issues that had me with sweets growing up afterwards. But it all went back to that.
I've never had a problem with eating sugar. I don't have an addiction at all.
None at all.
You have the addiction. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, they would always
Yeah.
give out full size candy bars, which I was always thinking was so sweet. And now there's no kids that come by. It's kind of sad. Like I asked my grandma, I was like, "How many trick or treaters did you get this year?" And she's like, "None, zero."
Oh.
I know, and it used to be like hundreds of us growing
Oh
up,
yeah.
and not anymore. But here in our neighborhood, we have a really good turnout every year. But of course, we have to juggle because we want to go trick or treating with our girls. So like the prime time trick or treating, we're not home. Nobody's home to give out candy because we're out getting candy ourselves. But
Yeah.
that's kind of one of those things you have to kind of juggle when you have little ones that
Oh yeah, for sure.
want to go around that neighborhood and rack up. And so we're looking forward to
Oh.
it.
No, it's the best time, really. And I
Mhm.
loved it when our kids started doing trick or treating. We'd go out with them. It was just such a fun experience. But things have changed a little bit. It happens every year because we have a Facebook group for our neighborhood, which probably a lot of people also have one.
Mhm.
And it never fails that there's one person who says, "Oh, trick or treats on Wednesday night. Let's all do a pact and do Halloween on Saturday together." And everyone's
No.
like, "No, like,
No.
come on, it's been this way forever. Like, why are
Yeah.
you trying to change it?"
Don't make it confusing because
Yeah,
people are gonna be ready and nobody's gonna show, and then everybody's gonna come and nobody's gonna be ready. It's just gonna make
exactly.
it confusing unless they
I,
make it like a
I promise you. I promise you this year, when that comes up, I will screenshot it, black out
Yep.
the name, and I will put it on this podcast. It
Yep.
happens every
Every
year.
year.
And speaking to what you were saying a minute ago, how when we used to go out, there were hundreds of kids, right?
Yes.
But now they have so many like alternative things. They have like church trunk or treats
Right.
where people do that in lieu of doing actual
Yeah.
Halloween night. And I'm trying to think of a couple other things that they offer. But I think that's what dials down the numbers a little bit because we have a
Mhm.
decent amount of people come through the neighborhood, but I know we got a ton more kids here. And I
Right.
think a lot of people now also just truck their kids to other neighborhoods that were like the rich neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yes. We have
I think
one
that
right down the
happens.
way. Yeah.
Okay.
And the traffic trying to get into that neighborhood and the
Oh, is it
parking,
bad?
it is insane. Like, we're,
Okay.
like, literally, like, a mile away from this neighborhood, and I remember seeing traffic backed up all the way past our neighborhood last year when we were walking around. I was like, "Yeah, everybody's going to the towns," is what it's called, the
Oh,
towns.
okay.
And, it is, I mean, if you were to drive around the towns right now, we just do that just to go look at houses, because the decorations are, like, legit. Like, some of the
Oh,
people, like,
really?
oh, it's fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah, and like we drove by one year and there was this creepy Pennywise in the window, like a life-size Pennywise, like just
Ooh.
kind of looking over. And then they had this little, and their little sewer, they had a little red balloon coming out of the sewer.
Oh, I love
I was
that.
like, you win, you win. And of
You win.
course,
I just pooped my pants.
yeah,
Yeah.
my kids are obsessed with killers like, Pennywise and Jason and Freddy and stuff, even though they've never seen it, and they would be terrified if they did, but they talk about killers all the time, the killers and
The killers.
Chucky.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
killers.
They're all obsessed about that. And I was like, if you only saw that, um, you would be not wanting to sleep ever
For the
by
rest of your
yourself.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, play them Nightmare on Elm Street, and they'll
Oh
never
my
sleep again.
gosh. Uh-uh.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for
For
you.
you. 3, 4, lock the door.
Yeah. So anybody's out there who's terrified gets creeped out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things I wanted to share about Halloween real quick. Is I remember the final time I went trick or treating. I think I pushed it so I was probably about could have been 15 to 16, really.
Yeah.
And I remember was wearing like a Yankees hat and a baseball shirt or whatever. And it was going fine. It's this awkward age. You're like, but I just want to go out and get some candy. Like, no
Yeah.
big deal. But I remember one lady going, "You're too old to trick or treat," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm done."
That's
Nowadays, I don't care how old you are. If you
if
come
you're gonna
say trick or treat, I'll give you some candy. It's not the end of the world.
absolutely.
You
If
don't need to
you're
shame
if you're older,
people.
I'm probably gonna load you up with even more.
That's right.
'Cause
This might be
and then
your
they
last
always
hurrah.
exactly, and they always say you never refuse to give out candy. If you're giving out candy to everybody and the older kid comes up, because you never know what their backstory is. You never know
Yeah.
what their home life is, or, just like if, they're on the spectrum or anything like that.
No, for sure.
If you're giving out candy, give it out to everybody. They come to your door, hey, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
You're not the boss
cool.
of everybody. All right.
Be cool.
Like, yeah, just be cool. Give out the candy, have some fun, enjoy yourself. Oh, one big thing for us growing up, especially the memories I have now are more of my family, was
Mhm.
always the night before of carving pumpkins together.
Oh man.
That was always such a fun time because the kids, when they were younger, they loved pumpkin seeds. They couldn't wait for us to drain them, put them in the oven, get them all roasted up with salt, and had
Yes.
the best time. But
Mhm.
everybody would have their own pumpkin. Now, when the kids were younger, we'd obviously help them out with the knives and things like that. But as they got older, they were carving away, and it was contests. And Lauren would go all out with these amazing stencils, and it would look beautiful. And Luke's was always so bad. So one time, Lauren had this killer one, and Luke just cut out the words "I tried."
I
and
tried.
with his pumpkin right next to hers.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah, but that was always a fun night because we'd kick on a whole Halloween playlist, turn the music up,
Mhm.
carve, have snacks, and have treats and stuff. So that was always a great memory when they were youngins growing up. What about you?
Oh yeah, we always carved pumpkins. We always had the pumpkins out, and we always would decorate. We would put, we would feel like that would be one way to get me to rake, because you go out there and rake and you put those leaves in those pumpkin garbage bags, and you have those. So I was always like, okay, I'll go out and do my chores, easy peasy. And we have the little ghost hanging from the trees and different things like that. Little spooky season.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Our whole house, if you were to walk in, like I'm looking at this curio right behind the camera right now, and it is like Chloe and Lily have decorated it completely over the top. Halloween decorations all throughout the living room and throughout the house. It is definitely that season.
Oh, for sure. So decorating, I used to go all out when the kids were younger. I made a huge graveyard.
Mhm.
I would make this massive web thing around our front porch, connected, and I would do it to the mailbox and trees, and then miscellaneous signs and skeletons everywhere.
Mm.
And on Halloween, I would have I can't even talk for a second. Sorry. I would have a strobe light going, and then as people would come, I'd hit my smoke machine. So they'd come up, and they couldn't really see between the strobe light and the smoke machine. It made my Halloween heart very happy, and also scared some children, which also made me happy. So I'm that guy.
You're that guy.
I'm that guy.
Yes, sir.
This is good. Little walk down Halloween lane to get us in the spirit for our amazing new episode today. So I think we've scared them enough right now. I think it's time to get into it. Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything, we've got it all. We've got it all, small, weird or tall. So grab your snacks, sit back, don't stress, cause Tim and Billy talk about the randomness. Information prone to UFOs will take you where the weirdness goes. It's two guys talking way too loud about stuff that makes no sense, but we're kinda proud.
Well, welcome back to yet another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. As always, my name is Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by the best in the business, the biggest, the scariest, and the most lovable, Billy Parchman.
Hey, what's up, man?
I love watching your face when I do these because you're always like, what's
he gonna say? Yep. At least like last week, I almost had to drop an elbow on you.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I was listening back to that, and you like jumped me as I was trying to talk. You're like, no, not today, Satan.
Not today. I did say that.
What's funny is since we talked about in the opening about celebrating our 1-year anniversary next week. Next week, and I started listening back some old episodes, and today it was the one about our tall tales that are actually true.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, when I'm doing the intro for you, is when I call you my boyfriend. I went to say friend and best friend, but it came out boyfriend. And we both like lost it. I was like, I forgot all about that.
Oh my
God. I wish I had like 2 days where I could just edit out the different names I called you and play that back. That'd be really funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Man. But anyhow, your face today when I was talking, it was always like, what's he gonna say?
Where's he going with this? What's going down?
Where's his brain gonna explode today? Yeah. Um,
Oh,
that was fun talking about Halloween in the opening. I like that a lot. Gives me
yeah.
good feels.
Yep.
But we're gonna do something that gives you bad feels today, Billy.
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, I hate to put that on you, but what are we talking about today, sir?
Well, today we are going to the most haunted places in the world. We've already done the episode in America, which was
Yeah.
one of our spookiest episodes that we've done. But this time we're branching out, across
Yeah.
the world and finding the most spooky and haunted places that are out there. Now, with that comes a few trigger warnings.
Yes.
At this point, if you're listening with kids, this is definitely the time maybe to hit the pause button and come back when they go to bed or when they're not around. Also, if you have any sensitivity to stories obviously about death or scary things or horror or suicide, we do talk about that in some of these stories today. So we want y'all to just be aware, this is going to be one of those more on the adult side episodes that deal with some things that could trigger some folks. And so we just wanted to lay that out there. If you deal with that, hey, come celebrate it with us next week on our 52nd episode, our year episode. We'll do it right for everybody. But for this one, maybe catch us next week.
Well, I mean, unless your kid's some kind of just person who doesn't affect them at all, then
right?
You know what? We're leaving the judgment up to you. We give the warning.
You do
walk
you, boo.
The path.
You do you, boo.
Let's go, boo boo.
Yeah,
all
come
right,
on.
now we're gonna go down a path here. I can feel it.
Oh yeah.
Well, with that being said, we both got a few different stories we're going to share with you guys today. And when Billy mentioned we're going worldwide, there's so many different places to choose from. And we tried to narrow it down to a few, and they are different, by the way. So Billy and I won't be telling the same story.
Right.
We usually don't share anything ahead of time, but we kind of had to take a slight little glimpse into what the other person was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I have no clue. I just told you what I was doing. I have no clue. This is going to be a surprise for me.
Oh yeah. Oh, joke's on you, sucker.
That's right.
I stole all yours. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. And I'm going first. So
yeah. Joke's on you. We did rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to go first or last today. And I lost.
I won.
And Billy won. He's like, I'm going last. I'm going to clean up today and knock it out of the park.
That's right.
Okay. Instead of all these random metaphors, let's just get into it. Are you ready, Billy?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to be spooked.
Ready to be spooked. Okay. So the first one is the curse of Bhangarh Fort. It's India's most haunted ruins. All right. So today we're traveling to the deserts of Rajasthan, India. This is my best pronunciations, guys.
Yep.
And a land of palaces, kings, and ghosts. Our destination, Bhangarh Fort, a 17th century fortress that's so infamous, the Indian government has officially banned entry after sunset. You know that's scary when the government's getting involved. So you actually seen signs posted by different surveyors of in India warning visitors to stay away at night. That's not something you see every day. So when you hear that warning, you know it's good or bad rather. So Bhangarh was built in the late 1500s by the Maharaj Mando Singh, the younger brother of one of India's most powerful rulers. The fort sits at the edge of there's so many weird words in this. The fort sits on the edge of Sariska Tiger Reserve, surrounded by rugged hills and desert. At its peak, this was a thriving city, complete with temples, markets, royal residences, and homes. But now it's a ghost town, literally and figuratively. No one lives there. No lights glow after dusk, and locals avoid even talking about it after dark. The reason? A curse that allegedly doomed the entire city. Eek. Are you ready to find out what happened?
Come on.
Here we go. Here's where the story gets deliciously creepy. Like lick your fingers.
Delicious.
Ooh, it's delicious and it's creepy. Here we go. According to the legend, a beautiful princess named Ratnavati lived in Bhangarh. Her beauty was famous across the land, and so was her strength of character. But not everyone admired her from afar. Actually, a local sorcerer, skilled in black magic, became obsessed with her. Knowing she'd never willingly love him, he tried to enchant her using a love potion. He disguised the potion as a perfume and sent it to her, but the princess saw through his trick. She threw the potion away, and it spilled onto a boulder. That's when the curse began. The enchanted stone then rolled down the hill toward the sorcerer and crushed him. And as he died, he whispered a curse that Bhangarh would be destroyed and no one would ever live in peace within its walls. I mean, first of all, I like the karma on that. You're trying to throw some horrible thing and they throw out the window and it rolls down the hill and kills the sorcerer. That's like instant karma, buddy.
Right,
So
right.
that's a lesson for everybody out there. Keep that perfume to yourself. Soon after, a battle broke out between Bhangarh and a neighboring kingdom. The fort fell, the princess died, and true to the curse, the entire city was left in ruins.
Oh,
So today, the remains of Bhangarh Fort are hauntingly beautiful. Old temples, intricate carvings, crumbling stone gates, and the remnants of homes overtaken by nature. By day, it's actually a fascinating archaeological site. You'll see monkeys climbing over the ruins, tourists exploring, and guides telling these eerie stories with a smile. But once the sun dips below the horizon, the entire area empties out. Locals claim they've heard laughter, screams, and music coming from the fort at night. Some say they've seen shadowy figures wandering the ruins or heard footsteps behind them when there was no one there. Even paranormal researchers have visited, with some reporting energy shifts, strange sounds, and feelings of being watched. Yet, no definitive proof has ever been found, just mystery enough to keep the legend alive. So what's fascinating is how deeply the legends become part of the local identity. Even taxi drivers refuse to go there after dark. Villagers build their homes a few miles away, never within the fort's ancient boundary. Whether it's superstition, energy, or just storytelling passed down for centuries, Bhangarh captures something powerful, the human fascination with the unseen, the forbidden, and the possibility that maybe some places remember. So, is Bhangarh Fort truly haunted, or is it simply a monument to a human imagination and fear? Either way, it's earned a reputation as India's most haunted place, not through proof, but through power. The power of a story that survived for centuries, whispered from traveler to traveler, always ending with the same warning: do not stay there after dark.
Oh man. Yeah, dude.
Bhangarh. I've never heard of that place before. Had you?
I have not. I've been to India before, and I will say,
Oh, really?
I will say that some of the places that I visited, you can kind of just feel like
really?
the presence. It's weird. But it kind of sticks with you in a lot of the places. So I 100% believe that
The
there's
Bhangarh Fort is haunted.
you might not want to be there after dark.
I know. If there's a place out there, I was reading this and doing the research. There's a place out there that says do not go after dark. Even the government forbids you, do not go, and you still want to go there? What the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess some people, that's how they make a living. Like, we're going to go, see what we can find,
Not me. I have a travel agency, so I'm not doing that. But maybe we should start getting some ghost tours together.
Get some ghost tours in different places. I do want to still go on our last, haunted episode. I do want to go stay at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, where the Stephen King was inspired to write The Shining.
Mm-hmm. So maybe for our 1-year anniversary episode, I'm just going to talk about it in front of everybody, is maybe we should do some vision casting for what the year is to come, and put some things out there that we would like to do. What do you think?
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. So we also did is we were going to tell a story about the location, why it's haunted, the history, but we wanted to pull a real story from somebody who was there one time and had an experience. And so this is my story. It's called The Boy in the Window, A Night Inside Bhangarh Fort. Again, I don't know why he went in there. So
why?
Here is his story in his own words. He says, "My name is Ryan, and I've always been the kind of person who laughs at ghost stories, haunted forts, curses, strange noises in the dark, all just local legends, right? Well, that's what I thought until the night I decided to sneak into Bhangarh Fort. It was late, close to midnight. My friends and I had spent the whole evening daring each other, joking about the most haunted places in India. We read all the warnings online, seen the sign at the gate that said no entry after sunset. But we were young, fearless, and honestly, a little bit stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So we found a local guard, slipped him a few bills. And there's always people you can grease the palm, and keep going.
Yep.
Slipped him a few bills, and he agreed to let us in, just for an hour only. The air was heavy and still as we stepped through the ancient archway. No wind, no sounds, just the crunch of sand under our shoes. and the faint flicker of our flashlights bouncing off stone walls. At first, it was exciting, exploring the ruins, whispering about ghosts, but the deeper we went, the quieter everything became. It was like the air itself didn't want to move. Even the insects had stopped, no noise at all. Then something changed. We turned a corner into a small half-collapsed building. I recall a broken staircase that led nowhere. I was shining my flashlight along the far wall when I saw it, a figure. A young boy, maybe 10 years old, standing perfectly still, what looked like staring through an old window. But there was something wrong. In the daylight, that part of the wall was solid stone. There was no window there.
Oh,
At
man.
first, I thought maybe my eyes were playing tricks. The beam of the flashlight shook in my hand, but he didn't move. He just stood there, staring straight out into the darkness. So I whispered to my friend, "Did you see that?" And he nodded slowly. The boy turned his head towards us. Ooh. His face was pale, almost gray, and the eyes, they weren't angry or sad, just empty, like he was looking through us. And then right before our eyes, the outline of his body began to fade, like fog in sunlight. Within seconds, he was gone. We ran, no hesitation, no turning back. We sprinted out of that building, down the path, and we didn't stop until we were back at the gate. The guard was waiting there. He saw our faces, and he didn't ask a single question. He just nodded, almost like he had already knew.
Mhm.
The next morning, we went back in daylight this time, trying to convince ourselves it had been shadows or a trick of the mind. We found that same wall, solid. No window, no space where anyone could have stood. And that was the last time I ever laughed at ghost stories, because whatever we saw that night in Bhangarh, it wasn't alive. And sometimes when I close my eyes, when I go to bed, I still see that boy standing in the dark, staring
Ooh.
out a window that isn't there.
Oh, no, sir.
Oh, the whole part about it when they had the boy like stare at him and there was like no eyes there, it wasn't even
Mhm.
fear or anger, it was just like nothing. I think that for me is the creepiest thing you could possibly see.
Like somebody came up to you and said, "I'm going to give you $1 million to stay
Yeah.
one night there. $1 million, tax free. You know, tax free. You get a cool, you know,
Mhm.
6-figure or 7 figures. That's right. Right? Yeah. 7 figures in the bank. Do you stay that one night by yourself with just a flashlight
I would.
for $1 million? Yeah.
It's $1 million,
I would too.
man.
I would too.
It's $1 million. Now, does that mean I wouldn't be terrified and peeing myself all night long and crying?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, but no one else is there to know about that. So just
What-
me and the ghost.
What about $10,000?
I still think I would do it for 10,000.
How about $20?
$20? No, I would not
Nope.
do it for $20.
Oh man!
I play this game with Luke all the time because that's his big thing. Like, what would you do for this amount of money? It was always like, would you eat a smashed hot dog that was laying on the ground flat for like $50,000? He's like, I would do that for like $500. Like, he's always settling at the lowest part for like these gross things. And other people are like, no way.
You know, you're first starting out. You know, you're fresh out of college, and you know you're kind of starting your career. It's a little different, especially like if you're in college and different things. It's it kind of goes up as you get older.
yeah, exactly. And if nobody agrees with him, he's like, seriously, if I had like $50,000 here right now, you wouldn't eat that hot dog off the ground. You know, like stuff like that, which makes you go, you know. But still, so he'll ask the question, but no matter what you answer, he still pushes back. Like, seriously,
come on,
I would do it. Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
I would do it for whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, off topic, but no, I don't want to go stay at the scary places. But for $1 million, I'd really have to.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm just gonna find me a corner. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna close my eyes in a little ball. Wait me when the light comes on.
Yeah.
You could be right out there. Ghost be like, woo, and I'll be like, I'm not looking at you, bro. I'm just right here. I'm in my own little world.
Jesus,
Can't
please
see me.
watch over
John
me,
Cena.
please, God. Yeah, you can't see me. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's my first story.
Yeah.
So don't go to the Bhangarh Fort in India because
Yeah.
you may not make it out alive.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to be heading over to Japan for this next story, and we're talking about this one. You know, I had said earlier, trigger warnings for suicide. This plays heavily into this story. but there's this forest that is outside of just kind of at the bottom of Mount Fuji. It's called Aokigahara Forest, or the forest that whispers. And so this is a little bit about that forest. At the base of Japan's sacred Mount Fuji, there's a forest so dense, so quiet, that even the wind seems afraid to enter. It's called Aokigahara Forest, which means the Sea of Trees. From above, it's stunning. It's a green ocean frozen in place, born by lava that poured down from Fuji's slopes over 1,000 years ago. But step inside, everything changes. The air feels heavy. The light disappears. Even the sound of your own footsteps seem to fade away. Some people say that the forest swallows noise, and maybe in some ways it swallows more than just that. Ancient Japanese legends tell you of the Yuri. It's a ghostly spirit of the dead that's trapped in between this world and the next. They wander the forest, pale, hollow-eyed, searching for peace that they never found in life. Some travelers swear they've heard them, faint voices whispering their name, or a cry of something calling for help, and then it vanishes when you follow it. Sounds kind of familiar to our stories of Appalachia, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where they know your name and they were whispering it and you hear it.
So creepy.
It's just like, it's one of those things that just, oh my gosh. Others claim to have seen white figures drifting in between the trees, gone in a blink, leaving only silence behind. But the real horror of the forest isn't just the ghost from the legends. It's the ghost we leave behind. So in 1960, there was this novel that was called The Black Sea of Trees, which told the story of two lovers who came here to this forest to die together. That story planted a seed, and over the years, the forest's reputation grew darker as people began coming to not see the nature, but to escape their pain. By the 1990s, the forest was known around the world as the suicide forest. Police and volunteers search it every year, and dozens of lives are lost among the roots and the moss. Authorities eventually stopped reporting the numbers because they said it gave people ideas. That's how bad this forest had become, all, just reaching from, a book originally. Now at the entrance, there's signs that plead in both in Japanese and in English that say, "Your life is precious. Please reconsider. Think of your family." Those are posted at the trailheads throughout this forest. Those words hang in the air like a prayer. But even today, ribbons and tape can be found tied to trees, left by hikers to kind of find their way back, or by others who never planned to. Their heaviness is there. You can feel it. The sadness lingers like a fog. The forest has become like a mirror that only reflects the pain of the living as much as the ghost of the dead. And that's what makes this forest truly haunting. It's not just the myth, it's the silence of real people who entered seeking peace and the echoes they left behind. When you stand at the edge looking up at Mount Fuji, it's impossible not to feel both awe and sorrow. The trees whisper, but it's not only legend, it's memory. They say if the forest ever goes quiet all at once, it's because it's listening. And like I said, this whole thing kind of started and got really popular because of a book in 1960 that came out. And then also, if you are familiar with, like, not so long ago, like I would say probably maybe, 10 years ago, a YouTuber, a really popular YouTuber, who's now a WWE superstar.
Oh no, you got to say his name.
Oh, I am, because he's an idiot. Oh, did you just say that too? Yeah. Logan Paul. I mean, oh my gosh! And back in the day, like during this time, he still is annoying.
Yeah.
He still is annoying, but he was really, really annoying. But he went to this forest because of the stories, and and he actually found somebody who had committed suicide when he was there, and he filmed it and he put it on
Mhm.
YouTube. And they say
What
you're
a idiot.
guys, like, their frontal lobes don't develop until certain ages, and like I'm sure that it's one of probably his biggest regrets, if not the biggest regret of his life, doing this, because I mean he almost did get canceled or whatever. He
Yeah.
did have to do a lot of things. I think he got demonetized off of YouTube, which was his huge source of income at the time and stuff like that. But I mean, just the respect for human
Oh,
life, and
the lack of respect, rather.
yeah, exactly, he didn't have it, like, and just like that person and for their family, because I'm sure you could go. I haven't ever done this myself, but I'm sure
No.
once it's on the internet, it's always out there. I'm sure
Right,
you can
right.
kind of find the footage, even though YouTube has taken it down or whatever. But that only just kind of grows, and it also gives people ideas as well. Kind of like they said, they stop reporting. The police have stopped reporting these numbers because of just they don't want to kind of make the legend even grow even more and give people ideas or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But kind of like we were saying, we're given the history of the most haunted places in the world, and then we're going to share a story. So the story that we're going to be sharing about this place is called the Whisper Path.
Okay.
And they say the search crews in the forest never go in alone. No matter how many times they've been inside that forest, they always bring someone to watch their backs, not because of what they might find, but because of what might follow them out.
Oh.
In 2018, a small recovery team was sent into the northern section of the forest, an area where the locals call the Whisper Path.
Mm.
It's rarely entered, even by experienced rescuers, because the trees grow too tightly together. The canopy blocks out the sky completely. You could light a flare and never see the smoke in this section of the forest.
Oh, wow.
That day, the team was led by Hiroshi Tanaka, a 46-year-old volunteer who had worked with the local police for years. He wasn't easily shaken. He had seen what the force could do and the grief it could hold. The mission was straightforward: to locate a missing woman in her 30s. Her car had been parked by the trailhead for 3 days, and her husband had reported her missing after finding a note that simply read, "I need to see the quiet."
Oh.
By mid-afternoon, Hiroshi's team found the first signs: a pale scarf tangled in the undergrowth, her footprints that suddenly stopped. That wasn't unusual. In this forest, it has thick moss that usually can swallow a footprint whole. Now, what was unusual was the sound. They were used to silence in the forest, silence so deep that it hums in your ears. But now, from somewhere ahead, a soft voice came. It was faint, calm, female.
Mm.
It said, "Over here." The team froze. Hiroshi called out, thinking it might be the missing woman. But the voice came again, clearer this time, from another direction. "Over here." They split up, carefully to stay within sight.
Mhm.
Hiroshi followed the voice deeper into the brush until he came across a red string tied to a tree. It stretched into the darkness, taut and trembling, like it had just been tied. He followed it. Every few yards, he found something new: a shoe, a torn bag, a child's keychain with a cartoon fox.
Mhm.
Then the voice came again, soft but closer. "Hiroshi." He stopped cold. No
Oh.
one in that forest should have known his name besides his team. He called out to his team. No answer. Just the whisper again. "Hiroshi, I can see you." His flashlight flickered, and when it steadied, the red string was gone. Only the knot remained on the tree. And then he saw her. About 20 feet ahead stood a woman in a white dress. Her head was bowed. Her hair was long, hanging over her face, and her bare feet hovered an inch above the ground.
No.
Hiroshi froze. His radio crackled, his teammate's voice yelling his name, and in an instant, the woman's head snapped up. Her eyes were black, hollow, and her mouth hung open wider than any scream could have came from.
Oh
Her
my
voice, however, was calm. Stay. The forest erupted in sound, every direction filled with whispers, hundreds of voices, all saying his name. Hiroshi, Hiroshi, Hiroshi. He stumbled back towards the trail, branches clawing at him, lights spinning. When he broke through the open path, his team was there. They said he had been gone nearly 2 hours.
Oh my
He didn't
gosh.
speak the rest of the day. When they checked his radio log later, they found
Mhm.
something strange. A single
Oh.
transmission from an unknown source. It was faint but clear. A woman's voice saying his name and breathing. The following week, Hiroshi resigned from the volunteer unit. 2 months later, another search team entered the same area and found a red string tied to a tree. It wasn't weathered or old. It was new, fresh nylon, tied in the exact same knot style that Hiroshi used to mark his trails. At the end of the string was a note written in black. It read, "Over here."
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. The real story is so much scarier than like the history of it all.
come on now.
Let's just say from the beginning, the history of it is so sad. It's so
Yes.
heavy. I can feel the heaviness as you're reading the story. You know, there's so many people who came there to end their lives, and the heaviness they brought with them, the pain that you
Yeah.
discussed at the beginning. It's just so horrible. It's like a God bless moment, you know, for all those families and the poor people who just haven't
Yeah.
been there before that this hits.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the story, man, him getting caught up, being gone for 2 hours, and hearing all the way. The part about him running and then hearing all the voices calling his name, I couldn't imagine that.
Terrifying. Terrifying. Oh, goodness gracious.
That was a scary one.
That was a scary one. That's why it's one of the most haunted places in the world.
I can imagine. Jeez.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember when Logan Paul did that thing. He got ripped horribly,
yeah.
which he should have.
Yes.
Trying to capitalize off that.
Mm.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, these are one of the most haunted places in America, or not America, in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't call them haunted for nothing.
That's right. That's right.
Deep breaths after that story.
Right.
It's a heavy one. So let's change it up a little bit and make it even worse. None of these stories really get any better. There's a different kind of crazy.
Right.
So today we're heading to Italy, but not for pasta, wine, or gondola rides. We're going somewhere far darker. Just a few miles from Venice, tucked quietly between the canals and the sea, lies a tiny island that most people will never visit, and many Italians refuse to even talk about. It's called Poveglia Island, and it's also known as the Island of No Return.
Oh, man.
It's a place said to be haunted by the ghost over 100,000 souls.
What?
I say it again, 100,000 souls. Some died in agony, others in madness, and even today, locals say the island still whispers if you dare to listen. Sounds like that forest. So at first glance, Poveglia looks peaceful, a small patch of green surrounded by calm blue water, but the story goes back centuries. In the late 1300s, Venice was struck by the Black Death, the bubonic plague that wiped out millions across Europe. To stop the spread, the Venetian government created quarantine islands, isolated places where the infected were sent to die. Poveglia became one of those islands. Boats would bring plague victims to the island, some already dead, others barely alive, and there were no hospitals, no cares, and just these pyres, which were massive fires burning day and night to dispose of the bodies. It's said that the island's soil is now made up of more ash than dirt from all those burned remains. Isn't that crazy? A few centuries later, the plague returned, and Poveglia once again became a dumping ground for the dying. Historians believe that more than 100,000 people took their final breaths there. Imagine the cries, the fear, the hopelessness. I mean, they said in the beginning they would send. There's nobody caring for them. There was no one like to bless them as they were just slowly dying. It was just pure pain, sadness, and agony. Couldn't imagine. Over time, Venetian fishermen began to avoid the waters around Poveglia. They said their nets sometimes would pull up bones, skulls, even
Oh.
human remains from the seafloor. Yeah. They called it cursed, a place where the dead could never rest. And honestly, after that much tragedy, who could blame them? If the story ended there, that'd be haunting enough. But in the 1920s, Italy decided to use the island again, this time as a psychiatric hospital.
Of course. Why not?
Why not? I read that. I was
wrong.
like, what the what? Yeah, no. So patients who were brought there for treatment, but conditions there were horrific. The facility was isolated, crumbling, and underfunded. Then rumors started. People claimed a doctor on the island started performing experiments, lobotomies, electric shock therapy, and tests that went far beyond medical ethics. According to the legend, he believed that he could cure madness, quote unquote, by opening the skull and exploring the brain. That sounds reasonable enough.
Right.
Eventually, he went mad himself. Some say that he began hearing voices, the voices of the plague victims who died centuries before. And one night, he supposedly climbed the island's bell tower and jumped. Witnesses claimed that he didn't die immediately, that a strange mist rose from the ground and swallowed him whole. After that, the hospital was shut down. I mean,
Right.
finally.
As it should be.
Yeah. Today, Poveglia is completely abandoned. Its buildings are still there, the decaying hospital, a church tower, and crumbling stone walls wrapped in vines. No one lives there. No boats dock there. Even the locals of Venice refuse to go near it. Fishermen steer clear of the area, saying they feel a dark energy in the water. Some swear they've seen figures moving around the fog or heard screams carried on the wind.
Mm.
And that's not just superstition. Even modern visitors, researchers, and thrill seekers have reported eerie experiences. Cold spots, whispers, shadows that move. Some leave shaken, others leave convinced they were never alone. Of course, skeptics argue it's all imagination, that Poveglia's stories are just a result of centuries of death and decay. After all, anywhere that saw that much suffering would definitely carry a heavy energy for sure. And that nickname, the Island of No Return, it's not just poetic, because even though a few explorers have visited, no one has ever managed to stay the night. So what do you think? Is Poveglia just another ghost story? Is it a real place where the echoes of the past still wonder? Maybe it's both, a reminder of what happens when pain, fear, and history all get trapped in one small corner of the world. And one thing's for sure, if you ever find yourself in Venice and you see a quiet little island off in the distance, just remember the locals advise, don't go near it. Because once you step on the island, you may never come back the same. Man, these stories are heavy. It made me, I wanted to do more research and go look up like actual accounts and pictures and things like that. But just imagining all these people dumped there just to die, like, and the conditions, how poor them people just burning bodies 24 hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
And then, hey, let's open a psychiatric hospital.
Well, why not? Sounds like
what's ever gone wrong before from opening something on
Exactly.
a horrible bury yard, a graveyard of buried bodies and burned bodies. Ugh. So
No, thank you.
So don't go to Poveglia. What I'm going to do is go back after this episode. I'm not thinking stories is how I pronounced everything compared to how it's actually pronounced. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but it's what makes sense to me to consistently say that same word over and over again.
Same here.
So I'm going to give myself that grace.
Absolutely. And, don't come for us if we mispronounce anything, just
we're
words.
Doing our best.
Yeah. Come on.
They're just words.
Just words.
Don't make me come for you. But as we said with each story, we also found a story of somebody who was actually there and had an experience. So my story is called The Fog That Rose at Midnight. My night at Poveglia. So here we go. I never meant to set foot on Poveglia, which you shouldn't have. My name is Mary, and I was just chasing the legend, one of the ghost hunters who thought that darkness would reward bravery, but that night changed me forever. It started in Venice. A private boat had been arranged, not an official tour, because those don't even exist on the island. We slipped through across the lagoon under moonlight. The wood boards creaked as we tied off at the old dock, half rotten and overgrown. and the air smelled of salt and decay. I remember stepping off the boat and into silence, dead silence. No wind, no distant city hum. My flashlight beam flickered across the crumbling hospital walls, broken windows, and overgrown trees that pressed in. We picked a path toward the old bell tower, the one building still standing from the old church of San Vitale. I was ahead of the group. My footsteps echoed, the boards beneath me groaned, and my light caught windows with shattered glass, rusted hospital beds inside rooms, and peeled walls. I paused in a hallway. It was dark, narrow, with peeling paint. The beam of my flashlight trembled. Then I heard it. Very faint at first, but a whisper. At first I thought it was wind, or maybe my own imagination. But it grew more distinct, and the whisper was, "Help me, help me." My heart pounded. I called out, "Who's there?" No answer, just silence. So I raised my flashlight, swept it down the hall at the far end. I thought I saw movement, a figure drifting like smoke. I stiffened. My breath seemed to freeze. I couldn't move. Slowly, the figure took a shape. A woman in tattered clothes, her hair hanging limp over her face. Her head was bowed, and when she lifted it, I saw hollow eyes staring at me. I froze again. The whispering kept trembling, as though many voices overlapping it in a single lament, over and over again. Then the air shifted. A cold mist slid in from the corners of the room, crawling across the floor, licking at my ankles. It wound around my hands. The flashlight flickered again, and in that instant, the woman was right there, closer than physics should allow. I stumbled. The mist pressed in. My throat tightened with panic. I tried taking a step back, but I felt another presence behind me. No sight, just weight, and I screamed, loud, raw, involuntary. The mist then thickened. It wrapped around me. My world narrowed to the sound of my own panicked breath. Then, as suddenly as it had come, the figure just dissolved. The mist pulled away. I ran fast, over broken steps, through dark corridors, desperate to escape this place. My flashlight sometimes failed. Once I tripped, nearly crashing through a rotten doorway. I burst out into the night, back to the boat, shaking like a leaf. No one spoke. No one. The waves lapped quietly. My hands trembled. Later, when I checked the footage I'd recorded, I found odd things. A whisper in audio, so faint you had to raise the volume. A brief blur crossing the hallway. One frame where the doorway began to glow pale white, but no shape inside it. Since that night, I have never doubted that Poveglia holds something restless. I see that woman in my dreams sometimes with those hollow eyes just staring at me. They say over the years, workers who have tried to restore parts of the hospital have left abruptly, claiming the building felt wrong. They say that the bell tower's toll can sometimes be heard, though the bell has been removed long ago. Whatever is on Poveglia, left over from the horrors of the plague, the suffering of patients, or something older still, I felt it that night. I can't say it's proof, but I know I left part of myself there, in the mist behind those walls, with whatever cried out, "Help me." And if you ever hear a whisper in the dark, or see a pale figure just at the edge of the site, maybe it's Poveglia reaching back.
Oh no.
Woo!
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir.
And yeah, all the stories I pulled, by the way, were recent stories, because there were some like old ones I had found.
Yep.
These are stories more recent with technology, like you hear the ghost hunting and things like that. But oh man,
That's crazy.
creepy.
That is very creepy. Like, it kind of, and like both of these stories, they're given like Ring vibes, like the girl from the Ring, like coming out of the, like,
absolutely,
with the hair over the face, kind of like in the hollow face.
She's like glitching at you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, creepy.
Well, I'm glad that I'm done reading my scary ass stories.
Oh yeah, you're done. Nah,
I can sit back and shake it out, shake out the goosies.
Dang, I should have gone first. Dang it.
See? That's what happens when you get all that power from rock, paper, scissors.
That's right. That's right. Well, I guess I'll bring it home. So we're heading over to Northern Ireland, y'all.
Okay.
This is called The Lady in the Tower at the Ballygally Castle. Ballygally.
Oh, by golly.
By golly, gally, golly. Gooly goo. Okay.
He's trying to make this not feel scary, but it's not working.
The Ballygally Castle. I could be butchering it, but we're just going to roll with it.
Hey, it's no one's business but our own.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so On the rugged coast of Northern Ireland, where gray waves crash against the black rock and the winds cut like glass, stands Ballygally Castle, a fortress built almost 400 years ago. Stone walls, narrow halls, windows that look out onto the sea like empty eyes. It
Mm,
was built in 1625 by Lord James Shaw, a Scottish noble who came to Ireland to claim land, wealth, and a legacy. Inside those walls lived his young wife, Lady Isabella Shaw, and it's her story that still lingers in every cold draft and every flickering light of the castle today. Legend says that Lady Isabella gave birth to a child, but not the heir that the husband wanted. Some say she bore a daughter instead of a son. Others say the baby was taken from her moments after birth. What
mm,
no one disputes is what came next. Lord Shaw locked her away in a tower room at the top of the castle alone, with only the sound of the sea below. Days passed, then weeks. The servants heard her crying, then singing, and then silence. One stormy night, something or someone fell from that tower. The
mm,
records never said if she jumped or if she was pushed. Her body was never buried, and from that night on, strange things began. Doors knocked by unseen hands, footsteps that climbed the stairs but never came back down, and always the faint scent of salt and roses when the air turned cold.
mm.
Centuries later, Ballygally became a hotel. Guests can stay in her castle, sleep in her rooms, and sometimes they meet her. Some wake in the night to a woman standing at the foot of the bed, pale as moonlight, dressed soaked as if she came from the sea. Others say she knocks on the door softly 3 times. And then, when they open it, there's no one there, only a trail of wet footprints leading towards
Mm.
the tower.
Oh.
The top of that tower still exists. They call it the ghost room now. The staff won't spend the night up there. Guests who dare describe feeling watched, a whisper behind the ear, the smell of the ocean, and a single cold tear running down their cheek that isn't their own.
Oh my
Some
God.
even say they hear the voice of a woman, quiet, trembling, asking, "Have you seen my child?" And
Oh.
maybe that's what keeps her here. Not revenge, but love twisted into sorrow that never found peace. So, if you ever stay at Ballygally Castle and hear a soft knock at your door, don't answer it right away. Wait and listen, because sometimes the sea wind carries more than the sound of waves. Sometimes it carries a mother's cry, still
Mm.
searching after all these centuries.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a deep history right there.
That is a deep history one.
Oh my
And
gosh.
her asking, have you seen my child?
Have you seen
Uh,
my child?
oh my gosh. That's just
Um,
so sad.
it is, and you don't really know what happened or why.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, if back in the day, if you didn't get the baby you wanted, why not try again? You know what I mean, or whatever. Why is it the end right
Yeah.
there? I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there were
But
some weird things that happened back in the day where people
yeah,
didn't want the child or thought something was wrong with it, they'd get rid of it.
yeah. But this is a real place that you can actually still stay at as well. And so, I do have a story here to kind of share. Um,
Yeah, let's hear a real story
they
from that place.
they called it the Scars of the Lady. I stayed at Ballygally Castle last spring. I didn't go there for ghosts. I went there because I had read about its history, how it was one of the oldest occupied castles in Northern Ireland, still standing 4 centuries of storms, because it's right there on the sea.
Right.
I knew about Lady Isabella, of course. Everyone who stays there does. The woman who fell or who was pushed from the tower after her husband locked her away. Some say she wanders still, knocking on the door, searching for her child. It's a story that sounds tragic until you actually start to feel it. They put me in room 5, directly below the tower. The receptionist smiled and said, if she visits, hey, she's gentle. I laughed it off, but when I unpacked, I noticed deep gouges in the stone windowsill, 4 of them, uneven and worn, scratches that looked almost like fingers trying to hold on. That night, I couldn't sleep. The air felt heavy. The sound of the sea outside was strange, not waves, but something closer, slower, like breathing. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway, not heels, bare feet, and they stopped at my door.
No, nope, 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 nope.
3 soft knocks. I froze. Then came a whisper right outside, a woman's voice. He locked me in. The doorknob turned once, slowly, then stopped. I wanted to call the front desk, but I couldn't make myself move. The air smelt like salt and old roses. After a while, it went quiet again. I lay there staring at the ceiling until I drifted off. I wouldn't be going to sleep. I'm up for the night.
Yeah,
dog.
they're no bit drifting off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I'm gone. I'm opening that door. I'm grabbing my stuff. I'm out the door. I'm sleeping in the car. When I woke, the room was freezing. My hand brushed against the wall beside the bed, and the plaster felt damp. When I turned on the lamp, I saw streaks on the wall, dark, like water running down from the ceiling.
Oh my
But
gosh.
the stains weren't random. They were curved. They looked like handprints. I checked out that morning, but curiosity got the better of me. I asked the housekeeper if anyone had ever stayed in the room long term. She said quietly, no one sleeps there more than one night. It's below her tower. The damp never leaves it. Then she rolled up her sleeves and showed me a scar on her wrist, thin and white. She said, I've worked here for 20 years. Only once did I feel her touch, cold as ice. It burned. Sometimes I dream about that voice, the soft knock, the whisper behind the door, and when I wake up, I still smell the roses.
Oh man.
Now, I would stay at this place. I would do that.
Well, I mean, that's something that does seem attainable, and that actually other people are there with you. It's not just you.
Right.
Gosh, her experience there was scarier than the history of it.
Exactly.
I mean, history was scary, but like her story, man, with the knocking and the whispering and hearing the footsteps outside. And then the handprint thing. Oh my gosh.
I could totally
No thanks.
feel like when you're so scared you don't even want to move an inch. You're just like frozen, like you can't be seen because you're like Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah.
You're like, I mean,
you can't even see me.
You didn't see it. I love it.
I love that line.
You just kind of froze. Oh my gosh.
Just Mantis comes in and says, "Hi, Drax."
Dang it.
Yeah. We just geeked out hard there on Marvel for a second.
I love it.
Yeah, that was wow. That story was creepy too.
Yeah. But I would love to know if you all, what is your favorite story that's spooky from around the world? Do you have any experiences yourself when you've traveled outside the borders of this lovely country? If you have any, we'd love to hear about it. We'll talk about it on the show. Shoot, just let us know.
Hey, we'll literally talk about anything on the show if you just reach out to us. Anyhow, wow, that was a good episode.
It was.
When we first started, I was like, this is kind of scary. And then the stories about individual things were creepy. And there were some heavy moments. Like I could feel the heaviness.
Yeah.
Oh, to your point, when you said, when you get scared and you get still, they were, when I say the girls on Creeps and Crimes podcast, Taylor and Morgan, they were talking about, when you hear something in the middle of the night or anything, you stop breathing because you're
you hold your
try
breath.
to get as quietly as you possible can and like try to hone in all your other senses of like hearing something and what's going on. That kind of sounded familiar to me when you had mentioned that.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. You hold your breath. It's like, I don't know if it's like a defense mechanism or like whatever. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
it
like
is, it is.
nobody can hear me breathing. But no, but like Billy said, though, we want to hear from you. I'm going to be putting up some show notes next week. I'll do it the day the podcast comes out, or we'll share a little bit of different things from the podcast that day. But check it out there, comment there, like there, and then Billy's killing it on all the other socials: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. He's still going on Google Plus that doesn't even exist anymore, and
just find us out there at
MySpace.
All the Everything Podcast. Yep, just Google us.
And remember,
Google
when
us.
you're searching, podcast is part of the name. It's not just the podcast. A lot of people get thrown off by that.
It is.
So it's All the Everything Podcast. So
that's right.
Get up there, and if you're loving it, spread the word, man. Spread that word. Let people know. Let them come check us out.
Yeah,
we're building and growing, but we want to help everyone builds and grows along with us, right, Billy?
That's right. That's right. We'd love to, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can give us a 5 stars on Spotify. You can go to Facebook and recommend us. That would be huge. So you help us get the word out. We would love it. Wherever, just help us hit the buttons, the follow, the shares, the likes, the loves, the everythings.
Yeah, we'll take it all, baby. We'll take it all.
Come on.
So, thank you again, everybody, joining us today for another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. I hope you got scared a little bit, spooked out, maybe had a little Halloween nostalgia as we were talking about at the beginning. And we can't wait to see you again next week for our 1-year anniversary. So take care, everybody, and have a great week.
Bye, y'all.